Imagine for a moment a musician who, in barely 2 years, completely changed the rules of the game for his instrument. That's the story of Charlie Christian, a true genius whose short but meteoric career transformed the guitar and jazz forever. So how did the guitar go from simply keeping the beat in an orchestra to a true solo voice? A voice that could rival the saxophone and trumpets? To understand this revolution, there's only one name to remember: Charlie Christian. To truly grasp it, we must delve back into the era, the age of big bands. At that time, the acoustic guitar was certainly present, but barely audible. It's completely drowned out by the power of the brass section. Its role is almost solely to keep the beat. This quote from Eddie Durham, who was a guitarist at the time, sums it all up. This was the constant frustration of guitarists. They literally fought just to be heard on stage. The guitar sound was simply too quiet, too subdued. The scene was set. The instrument was there, feeding me its hero, its pioneer, the one who would finally give her the voice she deserved. And this pioneer was about to arrive. Let's now see where this extraordinary artist came from. It all started in the American Southwest, a true crossroads of cultures, a blend of blues and jazz that would completely shape his unique style. It must be said that Charlie Christian had music in his blood. He was born into a family of musicians and was so passionate, so determined, that he actually made his first guitar himself out of cigar boxes. He grew up surrounded by it, absorbing all the sounds around him, from the somewhat rural blues to the jazz that was beginning to resonate in the cities. And then in 1937 came the turning point, the encounter that would change absolutely everything. He discovered the electric guitar and its amplifier. For him, it's not just a gadget. No, it's the tool that will finally allow him to unleash the sound he's always had in his head. And that's the absolutely crucial point. Amplification wasn't just about increasing volume, it transformed the instrument itself. Suddenly, notes could sustain, they could resonate, they could sing. The guitar was no longer limited to simple rhythmic chords. She could finally create real melodies, fluid and full of expression. With this new technology at her fingertips, Christian's talent could no longer remain a secret.
Wow. 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 I gave it a spin for you, Charlie.
The story of his discovery is incredible, worthy of a film. It's one of those moments where everything changes in a single evening. Frankly, the scene is insane. John Hammond, a producer of legends, spots him and insists on speaking to Benny Goodman, the king of swing himself. At first, Goodman is skeptical. He doesn't really believe it. But Hammond insists, and he finally gives in. He lets this young unknown go on stage in the middle of a concert, and what was supposed to be a simple rehearsal turned into an epic solo, a 45-minute solo that left everyone absolutely speechless. And to truly grasp the impact of that single evening, one only needs to look at his salary. What was he earning in Oklahoma City? $7.50 a week? With Goodman, he's making $150. We're talking about a 2,000% increase. It's simply the most concrete proof of his almost instantaneous rise. That's what's incredible about this story. There wasn't a long climb, no. In a single night, thanks to a single solo, he went from complete anonymity to fame. And he became the new star of the most popular orchestra in the United States. Now that he's a star, how will he use this new position? Between 1,939 and 1,941, in less than 2 years, Charlie Christian would simply revolutionize music. When you look at this timeline, it's mind-boggling. In record time, he recorded classics. He became an absolute reference for all musicians. And above all, he participated in the birth of a whole new style of jazz. Because after his official concerts with Benny Goodman, his real musical life began in Harlem clubs like Minton's Playhouse. It was there that, with other geniuses like Dizzy Gillespie or Thelonious Monk, he pushed all the boundaries. And it was from these jam sessions that bebop was born. This much faster, more complex jazz. Christian was one of its principal architects, and therein lies the heart of his genius. Instead of thinking like a guitarist of his time, he thought like a saxophonist. He was fascinated by his idol, Lester Young, so he transposed the phrasing, the breathing, the long melodic lines of the earlier instruments onto the 6 strings of his guitar. His induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame proves it. His impact extended far beyond the boundaries of jazz. Ultimately, what Charlie Christian proved is that the guitar could be much more than just an instrument for keeping rhythm. He simply set him free. Unfortunately, this incredible rise was tragically cut short. His career was as brief as it was intense, but his impact is eternal. It was tuberculosis, a disease he contracted at a very young age, that ultimately claimed his life. He died at only 25, at the peak of his career. One can only imagine all that he could have accomplished. His legacy is simply monumental. He is not only the father of the electric jazz guitar, he paved the way for almost every guitarist who came after him. Regardless of musical style, from blues to rock, his influence is absolutely everywhere. Moreover, he gave it a voice, a soul, and his recordings, which are over 80 years old, still sound incredibly modern today. That's the mark of true genius. That's the question that sums it all up. His career was just a flash in the pan, it's true, but a flash that illuminated the world of music forever. If you enjoyed this video, then I can only suggest one thing. Comment, like, subscribe, and then I'll see you soon for more stories. Bye.